Let me tell you the truth. She didn't pull away because you did something wrong. She didn't pull away because she needed space. She pulled away because she finished testing you. You thought she was confused. You thought her mixed signals meant you just needed to be nicer. You looked for some secret truth. Brother, you were living in a cinematic delusion. I am Zeus, and I've watched this pattern for millennia. This is not a relationship problem. This is a predictable biological mechanism, and you failed the mechanism. Today, I'm going to expose 3 things that will change how you view female behavior forever. First, the biological necessity that forces her to test every man, even if she loves him. Second, why your kindness is her biggest red flag and why your predictability killed her attraction. Third, I will show you the single final test, the exact minute she decided you were replaceable. Let's begin. Your first and most terminal mistake was believing that devotion is a currency. It is not. Your security and your reliability are the zero-sum baseline. You are obligated to provide them. Your partner expects them. You do not get credit for doing the bare minimum. In the eyes of the biological imperative, you are simply satisfying a contractual obligation. You must understand this fundamental truth. Predictability is the death of desire. When you become safe, reliable, and available, you are no longer a choice. You are the furniture. You are a fixture. The test is not an option for her. It is a biological mandate. Think of the test not as malice, but as an advanced defense mechanism, an evolutionary filter designed to ensure that you are still capable of protecting her and her future offspring from the unexpected chaos of the modern world. This impulse is ancient, and you are not above the ancient laws of selection. If you are easily manipulated, easily upset, or if your entire cosmos begins to revolve around her every fleeting emotional state, the test begins. She needs to know, fundamentally, are you the shield that will withstand the impact, or are you the first thing to shatter when the pressures of reality arrive? The moment she perceives your lack of inherent value, the moment she knows she can control your emotional state with a simple withdrawal of affection or a passive-aggressive comment, the mechanism concludes, you are replaceable. Your emotional collapse is her data. You provided the necessary evidence for your termination, and she is simply executing the command based on the weak data you delivered. You failed to understand the nature of the test. You were trying to solve a superficial problem. It was simply a biological measurement of your inner strength. This emotional submission is the entry point to the collapse of your value. Now, let's dedicate the next block to discussing the paradox that destroys 90% of modern relationships. Your kindness is a poison, and the motivational gurus lied to you. I know what the motivational coaches told you. Be vulnerable. Be open. Be nice. They were poets, not warriors. They followed the advice of men who never saw a true battlefield. They speak a language that is fundamentally incompatible with the harsh, unspoken laws of attraction. Your kindness is not a virtue in her eyes. It is a red flag, not because she desires a brute, but because excessive, unbounded kindness, without protective boundaries or a strong purpose, signals low self-regard. It suggests that your dignity is a negotiable commodity, easily traded for temporary affection. Let us delve deeper into the great lie of the modern motivational movement. They tell you to be vulnerable. They tell you to be open. They tell you that a woman desires your softness. I tell you, that is the narrative of a fool. The woman wants security, yes, but security is the consequence of your strength, not the replacement for it. When you become overly available, when you sacrifice her entire personal calendar, the second she snaps her fingers, you are not showing love. You are demonstrating a crippling dependency. The case of the perpetual apologizer. Think of the man who apologizes for his tone, apologizes for being 5 minutes late, apologizes for having an opinion that differs from hers. This is not chivalry. This is the act of shrinking. She is watching you make yourself smaller, to fit into her approved narrative. The moment you offer a constant stream of apologies for your own existence, you teach her that your self-worth is conditional, and the condition is her mood. This is the terminal sickness of your frame. When your kindness is driven by the fear of losing her, it is not kindness, it is emotional bribery. And bribery is the tactic of the desperate. She observes the desperation, and the biological alarm bell screams one thing: flee. The test concludes that you are a man without a frame. A man who can be easily manipulated is a man who cannot withstand the true, chaotic pressures of the world outside the home. She sees the weakness, and the evolutionary mechanism screams, abandon. You were the easy target. And the predator never respects the easy target. You respected yourself so little that you forced her to lose respect for you too. But your consistent failure in the small, daily tests is only the preamble to the real terminal sentence. There is one final test, the ultimate test of worth, that separates the furniture from the leader. And it is the one you will fail without exception, unless you understand its precise, hidden premise. The final test is not an argument or a confrontation. It is a silent, creeping certainty. It is the test of stillness. This is the moment where she gives you the terminal diagnosis. She doesn't pull away when you fight. She pulls away when you stop moving. She observes your world, your ambition, your discipline, your purpose. This is the ultimate biological checkmate, executed without a single word. She pulled away because you became stationary. The moment your world began to revolve entirely around her and the comfort of the domestic life, the test concluded. You committed the terminal sin. You transferred the center of gravity of your universe from your purpose to her affection. This is lethal. The historical case of the trophy husband. Consider the man who quits his side business, abandons his gym routine, and sacrifices his challenging career trajectory to spend more time with the family. He believes he is wisely investing in the relationship. She sees a man who has traded his challenging future for a predictable and small comfort. She sees stagnation. She sees the ceiling. Your partner's biology is obligated to seek maximum potential and upward mobility. When you stop moving, when you stop building, when you stop challenging yourself, she sees a man who has peaked, a man whose future is predictable and small. You stopped being a challenge. You stopped being the prize. You became the comfortable constant. The test of stillness reveals that the man she committed to the man defined by his potential and his drive is dead. And when she realizes you have flatlined, the decision is swift and predictable. She is simply replacing the stationary man with the man who is still moving. This is the unyielding law of nature. This brings us to the most painful truth, the moment of terminal withdrawal. When did she actually leave? It has nothing to do with another man. It has everything to do with a biological clock that you willingly stopped. The exact minute she decided you were replaceable was the moment she realized she was responsible for your happiness. When you stopped prioritizing your mission, your health, and your purpose, you transferred the entire burden of your internal happiness onto her. You handed her the keys to your internal jail, asking her to be the sun, the moon, and the gravitational force of your life. A woman is biologically wired to share your joy, not to be the source of your joy. The moment you became dependent, she became the jailer. She became your mother, your therapist, and your life coach. And the second you asked her to wear those hats, she lost all desire for you as a man. This transference of happiness is not a small mistake. It is the final, fundamental breach of the contract. You demanded that she carry your existential baggage. You made her the unwilling architect of your emotional destiny. Imagine her internal script. She looks at you and sees not a man, but a dependent child whose mood dictates her day. This is a burden that destroys all desire, replacing it with a creeping resentment. This is the cost of your stillness and your neediness. You cannot fix her. She doesn't want to be fixed. She wants to be led. The solution of Zeus is not complicated. It is merely absolute. Amused Mastery is the understanding that your mission, your purpose, your health, your discipline is the only thing that sustains the relationship. She is attracted to the man who is leading his own life, not the man who is begging to be included in hers. You must recenter the universe around your own purpose, not around her. Your job is not to pass her tests. It is to live a life so compelling, so focused, and so full of purpose that she is afraid to fail your test. Your self-respect must become non-negotiable. Your mission must become your most sacred obligation. When you operate from a place of amused mastery, you observe her tests with a detached smile. You do not react. You simply proceed with your mission, knowing that your value is inherent and not dependent on her transient mood. That calm, that certainty, that lack of neediness, that is the ultimate frame. That is the only thing that commands respect and consequently desire. This is just the beginning of the patterns I will expose. The failure is the norm, but you are not obligated to be the norm. The predictable will always fail. Be unpredictable. Be the center of your own universe. If you are ready to see the world as it truly is, subscribe and join the few men who choose truth over delusion. Next video, the hidden cost of your humiliation. Why she is waiting for you to beg her to return. I'll be watching.